Hello children, welcome to AIMS India online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are discussing about water. In this session we are going to see a practice sheet related to the chapter water. So now we are going through practice sheet 1, which includes conceptual understanding questions and single correct answer type questions. Okay, let us start that. First, let us say about conceptual understanding type questions. See the first one. The constant temperature at which water changes from solid state to liquid state upon heating is called. What do we call the temperature? The temperature at which water starts converting from solid state to liquid state. In the solid state, water is said to be in the ice form. So, if it is converting into liquid state, we call that process melting. And the temperature at which this process is going on is called melting point. At melting point, a substance changes from its solid state to liquid state on heating. So in the same water also here, from its solid state ice, it changes into liquid state on heating at melting point. What is the melting point of water? We know as it is 0 degrees Celsius. At a 0 degrees Celsius temperature, solid, that is ice, starts converting into liquid water form. That is called its melting point. Okay, next one. The constant temperature at which water changes from liquid state to solid state upon cooling. So exactly the reverse process for the above one. What's happening here? Liquid water changing into solid water form, that is ice form. How will be it done? By cooling process. What do you call that process? Conversion of liquid into solid is called freezing. And the temperature at which it is happening is called freezing point. At freezing point, liquid starts converting into solid form on cooling. Okay, next one. The water under the surface of the earth is called. What do you call that water present under the layers of the earth? We call that water as groundwater. When it rains, certain amount of water percolates or sinks into the layers of the earth and will be stored on the rocky layers under the earth. That water present under the earth is called groundwater. Okay, next one. The formation of water vapor by evaporation of water from leaves of plants is known as. Generally, from the water bodies like lakes, rivers, oceans, certain amount of water will be evaporated. That we know as evaporation or vaporization. But especially here it is asked the process by which water is evaporated from the leaves of plants. It is specially called as transpiration. By the transpiration process, certain amount of water will be evaporated from the leaves of plants. It's called transpiration. Next one. The water suitable for drinking is called. What do you call that water? The water suitable for drinking is called potable water. All the waters are not suitable for drinking because they may contain some impurities in it. But the water which is containing essential salts and gases in it is called potable water. The process by which suspended particles in water become heavy and settle down is called. So if you take some impure water in a container, if you allow that water to settle for a few minutes without disturbance, then the impurities or suspended particles in the water will settle down slowly. This process is called sedimentation. Okay, it is called sedimentation. Next. The process in which clear water is separated from the suspended particles is called. So, as we told in the previous case, if we take impure water and if we allow that water for a few minutes without disturbance to settle, all the suspended particles they will settle down. Clear water will be in the above. Now, that process is called sedimentation, and then we can separate that pure water obtained there into the another container slowly. This process is called decantation. So sedimentation, decantation both are used together for separating pure water from the suspended impurities. Okay, here it is called decantation. Next one. Pure water from dissolved impurities and gases can be obtained by. So if water contains dissolved impurities and gases, these can be separated and we can obtain pure water by the process called distillation. The water obtained by distillation process is a purest form of water that we call distilled water. Okay, next one. The wastewater discharged from our houses that contains dirt from washing clothes and utensils is called. What do we call that wastewater obtained from our household uses? We call that sewage. The wastewater obtained from the homes by cleaning and washing by this all which is containing dirt is called sewage. Next one. The compounds containing water of crystallization are called. What do we call those salts which are containing water of crystallization in them? Those salts are called hydrated salts. Or the compounds containing water of crystallization are called hydrated salts. Next. Carbon dioxide dissolves in water to form a weak acid. What do we call that acid commonly? Yes, carbon dioxide fairly soluble into water. On dissolving into water, it forms an acid called carbonic acid. It is called carbonic acid. So this is generally used in the preparation of soda, isn't it? So what do? They pass a high quantity of carbon dioxide into the water by applying high pressure. So that more amount of carbon dioxide will be dissolved into water and it forms carbonic acid. Because of the formation of carbonic acid, we feel sour taste while drinking soda. Okay, next one. Now let us see the single correct answer type questions. So the first one among those, dash is known as the universal solvent. Yes, which is called as so universal solvent. Yes, it is water. Why it is called so? Because water can dissolve almost everything into it. Of course, it is another matter how extent it dissolves, but almost all the substances they dissolve into water. That is why water is called a universal solvent. Some, of course, some substances they dissolve to a large extent and some they dissolve to less extent and they may take long time for the dissolution. But anyhow, almost all the substances they dissolve into water. That is why we call it as universal solvent. Next one. The freezing point of pure water is. What does it mean by freezing point here? It is the temperature at which a liquid substance starts converting into solid form on cooling is called freezing point. We know pure water starts converting into solid ice form exactly at 0 degrees Celsius temperature. So this 0 degrees Celsius temperature is called as its a freezing point. Okay, water starts converting into ice form at 0 degrees Celsius temperature. Next, the chemical formula of hydrated sodium carbonate. So generally sodium carbonate formula is Na2CO3, but it is mentioned here hydrated means molecules of sodium carbonate are combined with certain number of water molecules. So it is called hydrated sodium carbonate. Each molecule of sodium carbonate will be combined with 10 water molecules. Then it is called hydrated sodium carbonate. It is also called as sodium carbonate decahydrate. Okay, it is one of the crystalline salts. Next, the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen by weight in water respectively. If you observe once the molecular formula of water, what is the formula of water? H2O, isn't it? So there is a two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom in each molecule. So the atomic weight of hydrogen is 1, atomic weight of oxygen is 16 as we know. So if you take the weights ratio, there are two hydrogens, so 2 is to 1 oxygen 16, 2 is to 16. So what will be the ratio then? 1 is to 8. So the ratio of oxygen and hydrogen by weight is 1 is to 8. The ratio of hydrogen and oxygen by volume is 2 is to 1 because there are two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom in molecule of water. So by volume if it is asked 2 is to 1, but if it is asked by weight then it is 1 is to 8. Okay, next one. In gaseous form, water is present in atmosphere as. What is the gaseous form of water in the atmosphere we call? It is called water vapor. Okay. Next, which one of the following is not responsible for depletion of water table? Depletion in sense decreasing of water table. Decrease in the levels of water under the earth's surface. What is a responsibility? Which is not responsible they're asking here. See, rise in population is one of the responsible cause for the depletion of water table, isn't it? So by the rise in population, more water is being consumed day by day. So it decreases the water table under the ground. And if you see the next one, increase in agriculture. So if agricultural usage is increased, then more amount of water will be utilized there. That also decreases or causes the depletion of water table. And next one, deforestation. Deforestation means cutting down more trees. So this also leads to the depletion of water table. But if you see this, heavy rainfall. What happens if it rains heavily? Large amount of water will come down to the air surface and all the water bodies will be filled with the water. More amount of water will be sinking into the earth surface. So water table will be increased. The level of water table will be increased. What more water will be recharged in the ground. That does not responsible. It is not responsible for the depletion of water table. That is heavy rainfall. Okay, next one. The constant temperature at which water changes from liquid state to gaseous state. What do we call this process actually? Conversion of water into gaseous form, vaporization or evaporation. So it occurs, generally evaporation occurs at a particular temperature. But when water is heated to a particular temperature, at that temperature, water starts converting into gaseous form at rapid rate, very fastly. That temperature is called boiling point. What is the boiling point of water? As we know, it is 100 degrees Celsius temperature. At this temperature, water converts into vapor very rapidly. Okay. Which of the following substances do not dissolve in water? Of course, some substances they dissolve very fairly into water, but some they dissolve very small quantities and some they do not normally. What are those substances which do not dissolve in water? Generally, oils. Oil will not dissolve into water. Next, Chlorine is passed into water to kill the bacteria and sterilize the water. What is the name for this process? What do you call this process? Generally, when chlorine gas is passed into water, it kills the germs and bacteria present in it and it sterilizes. This process is called chlorination. Okay, next one. By this process, water can be purified in simple way. What is that process by which we can purify the water in the simple way? That is boiling. Yes, by boiling, the bacteria and germs present in it will be killed easily. Okay, boiling method. Next, the clear water that obtained after purification by some man-made process is called. We call that as treated water. The water obtained by the purification methods is called treated water. Next, what type of water is used for preparing soluble injectables? Generally, for these chemical requirements and for preparing soluble injectables, they need purest form of water. So there they use distilled water. That's why distilled water is one of the pure forms of water. It does not contain any dissolved salts or gases in it. So it is used for the preparing these soluble injectables, distilled water. Next one. The substances that pollute the water are called, of course, what do we call them? Pollutants like dust, harmful particles, chemicals. These all are called pollutants. Which water does not occur in free state in nature? Of course, river water, well water, rainwater, these all occur naturally in the nature. They occur freely in the nature. But distilled water is man-made. Distilled water does not occur naturally in the nature. This is to be prepared by human beings. How it is? By the process called distillation. Next, that's about the practice sheet 1. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel AIMS Today and visit our website aimstoday.in for latest updates and recorded videos.